Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
Good morning, Bix Weir, Roto.com with your morning horn disease, your sip of chaga coffee. All right, where are we at? Silver is still in their little slam game. We've seen this for, well, Ted Butler's seen it for 40 years. I've seen it since 1999. Same shit, different day. Commercials, in order to slow down the rise in silver, will short into the rise, which they did, according to the Commitment of Traders report over the last few days. And then they slam the price down by doing just a quick drop right here. They let it go up a little bit and then slam it. And that's the volume there. It takes a lot to slam it. And then everybody panics and gets out. And the commercials are allowed to cover their shorts at a lower price. And then they rinse and repeat and do it over and over again. 100% controlled by computer programs. Guy named Vinny Viola is the guy in charge of that rigging operation. And they're an authorized participant. The company's name is Virtu Financial. And Vinny Viola runs it. Kind of a Bernie Madoff counterpart. I think he ran the NASDAQ, or he was the chairman of it's either the NASDAQ or the NYMEX. I think it was NYMEX. And Bernie Madoff was the chairman of the NASDAQ. And then they both went off and they were both computer riggers, by the way. Yes, Bernie Madoff had a huge computer rigging floor operation below his main offices. And it's so much more than what they tell you. But they haven't busted Vinny Viola. As a matter of fact, Trump, as he did with many people, he took the people who needed to be blamed and it was trying to stick them into offices that they could be blamed. For some reason, it was really bizarre, but Trump nominated Vincent Viola, to be the head of the Navy. And was like, what? I have no idea where that came from. As a matter of fact, I think he got kicked out of West Point in the big cheating scandal back in the 70s. So, yeah, that's the company who does most of the rigging for the official riggers. Again, it's called Virtu Financial. Back in the day when I was looking at them, it was EWT LLC is what they named themselves. And they've been an authorized participant in SLV. So yeah, and they're just computer programmers, just riggers. There's no reason for Virtu Financial to become an authorized participant in a physical ETF unless you're going to do some computer market rigging, which is their expertise. So that's what's going on. How long will it last? I don't know. Great time to go over the weekend and get some physical silver. I don't know how long this will go on. I think the big drop is, if you look at the 6-month chart, it's pretty easy to see what's going on right here at this line. Right around, was it $24? See, they got it down under there. And if you do let's see what they're gunning for. They're gunning for the moving averages. So here's where the moving averages currently are. Very interesting that the first moving average would be the 50-day moving average. They're going for that one right now, which is 23.93. And they think the idea is on the short side, the technical traders, by law for them, technical traders only do what they're supposed to. They don't think about any other concerns other than what thresholds were crossed. So if it's going under the 50-day moving average, you're going to get some sales there. If it goes under the 100-day moving average, which is currently 23.40, you'll get some more people freaking out and going to the short side. And that's how they rinse and repeat. And then the ultimate shakeout would be the 200-day moving average. It's currently at $21.86. Will it go that low? I don't know. It can. It can go to minus $40 with the click of a mouse. Silver is not an investment. Silver is preserving your wealth for the future. When silver's freely traded, nobody's going to know what price it is. It won't be freely traded on the COMEX. I can guarantee you that. COMEX will shut down when silver crosses $50 an ounce. So we'll see. I mean, remember, these are not numbers. These are just electronic blips. Electronic blips. How many electronic blips did they throw at the market yesterday? 112,000 contracts, which is over half of all the silver mined in a single day. That's what they do. And it's just banks trading, high-frequency trading programs back and forth with each other for the most part. The COMEX is pretty much all criminal market riggers now. Very few people use the COMEX. Clearly not, 600 million ounces of derivatives were needed yesterday, unless you're trying to suppress the price, which they are. Did have a pretty decent size exchange for physical. Now, they're doing nothing as far as deliveries. There's nothing going on as far as deliveries on the COMEX in this huge, it's supposed to be the biggest delivery month, or one of them. As I pointed out before, we're at just barely over 10,000 or 10 million ounces delivered. This is going to be the smallest month ever. You might ask, well, why is it the smallest month ever when everybody knows we're running out of silver? Even the U.S. Mint declared 2 years ago and had to change their announcement that they are not producing enough silver eagles because they can't find the blanks. And clearly it's a violation of the law. They are supposed to create silver eagles to meet demand, and that's why you have these massive premiums into the $40, $45. Yes, they can find the blanks, and it's easy to find. You just bid more. You bid a higher amount. There is no limit as to what the United States Mint can print as far as silver eagles, can stamp out, can create. That's the law, and that's their job. Ventures Gibson, the mouthpiece, ever since she got in there, they've been just stopping the silver eagle production. 900,000 coins is all they make every month. As a matter of fact, the United States Mint and the United States government is the only mint in the entire world that is required by law to make silver eagles to meet demand. And they aren't doing it. Every other mint, the Perth Mint's making more of their silver. The Royal Canadian Mint, the Maple Leafs, the silver Maple Leafs, are going past the production of the U.S. Silver Eagle. The U.S. Silver Eagle has always been the most popular coin. And now they're making a hell of a lot more because people can't get silver eagles because of Ventures Gibson and the criminal administration. They're going to the Canadian Mint for the Maple Leafs. You can't make this stuff up. It's really bizarre. Really bizarre. Unless you stand back and say, oh, shit, they're making silver eagles. They're just not giving them to the public. Matter of fact, that's what Ventures Gibson said. Ventures Gibson is the head of the U.S. Mint. Yes, she has no minting experience, no experience at all in a mint, nothing. She has a lot of HR experience, human resources, government bureaucrat. Do I blame her? No, she's doing what she's told. And she's being told by Janet Yellen, who is her boss, not to make silver eagles, even though Janet Yellen came out with a commercial for the mint and saying, oh, what a great thing it is to collect silver and gold eagles. This is just, we live in this real bizarre world and a real bizarre time. Up is down, black is white. Who knows what's really going on? Not many people, truthfully. So yeah, we're looking at the COMEX. It's going to be the smallest delivery month ever for silver. Probably under, I think there's 6,000 contracts, so 13 million ounces, 14 million ounces. Tiny. Whereas every other mint around the world, everybody with silver is making as many as they can because people are buying them. Can you imagine if Ventures Gibson followed the law and was producing silver eagles to meet demand? They'd be selling 100 million a year. 100 million a year. And they probably have the capacity to do that right now. And what would silver's price be if the silver eagle was living up to the law and being created in quantities to meet demand? And by the way, they are not allowed to mark those up. And from everything I hear, they're making all this money at the mint. You are not allowed to mark up the silver eagles, the bulk. You can mark up the proof coins and uncirculated coins. That's legal. It is illegal. It is illegal to mark up the bullion program coins that are going to the wholesale distributors. It is illegal. It's in the law. The only thing you can charge for is the cost of manufacturing it. It's in the law. Why does the U.S. Mint, claim to be making all this money off silver eagles and gold eagles when they're not allowed to legally. I don't know about gold. Definitely silver eagles. You are not allowed to charge anything more than your cost. Read the law. God. Okay, so here's what's going on with the regional banks. I think it's very important. These banks are all gone. They're all going to go. That's 4,000 banks are going to go. I don't know what day. As we've seen in the previous couple videos I did of the FDIC meeting, they said it'll happen on a Friday night. So we got a 3-day weekend coming up. That could be the weekend. Today, Friday, could be the weekend, because after the close of the market today, they are releasing the deposit information for this week, and it is expected to show an increasing amount of people pulling their money out of the banks. Now, remember, a lot of this money will come out of Silicon Valley Bank and go into JP Morgan's bank. That would not change this. When it comes out of the banking system and into, say, a money market fund, which, by the way, is completely unsecured, the FDIC doesn't, unless it's a special thing with the banks, the FDIC does not insure money market funds. Does not. So none of that. They're taking people are taking money out of an FDIC insured thing into what they think is safer or better, and it's not. There's no FDIC. You can't even invent FDIC insurance for stocks and bonds and all that. That is not covered, and it's very clear, at least with the FDIC, that they know a crisis is here. They know they're going to have to, what they were talking about that meeting was 100% bail-ins. As in, you're going to lose your money. You're going to lose a quarter of your money, whatever it is. The problem with that is the obvious problem. Everybody would run to get their money out. And that's what they talked about at the FDIC meeting. They are shit up a creek without a paddle type of thing. Up shit creek without a paddle. So yeah, the latest numbers are going to come out tonight at about 4:30. Obviously, after the market closes Eastern time. It is expected to be. I expect it to be show an increase in the velocity of people pulling their deposits out, which will not be good for the regional banks. They're already, all week it's been rig the regional banks higher, rig the regional banks higher. I think that is ending now, because when people see this data, they're like, holy shit, people are still pulling money out of the banks. And they should be pulling it out of the banks, putting it into silver, not into a money market fund. But hey, we'll see what happens. And then we got the debt ceiling. Now, another reason not to put it into a money market fund is the obvious reason that what if the U.S. defaults on the debt? Money markets are mainly made up of U.S. treasuries. That's a huge category within money markets, U.S. treasuries. You're not going to get interest on your U.S. treasuries if they default on the debt ceiling and they can't create money out of thin air. They need to survive on debt. And is this the end game? Probably. Because there's a few people that need to be blamed. One, the big banks. That'll happen when JP Morgan goes down. Two, the politicians. The good guys know that the politicians need to be blamed. Our system needs a complete overhaul, shall we say. Anyway, here are the options they're talking about already. And the $1 trillion coin minting is always a funny one, because that would take care of the problem. Minting a $1 trillion coin, or $30 trillion coin, or $31 trillion coins, and paying off the national debt is completely and totally legal. Yep, it is legal. The problem is the obvious problem that we live in a faith-based monetary system. Faith and confidence is the only thing backing and controlling the U.S. dollar. If we did that, created that $1 trillion coin, or if the FDIC said we're gonna backstop all deposits, I think it's 17 trillion in deposits. Well, we can find out right here. Total deposits at commercial banks are 17 trillion. Yes, with a T, 17 trillion. If they come out and say that, faith and confidence is gone, and everybody around the world will dump their U.S. dollars. So it doesn't really help us. It destroys the dollar. It's not a fix to the problem. But they might do it, which is crazy. But there's other options they're looking at. The 14th Amendment always strikes me as something odd because everybody will say that, oh, the president can do it by using the 14th Amendment. Well, they'd have to change the law for the president to do that because the president doesn't have that ability. And so they're asking Joe Biden, of all people, what about the 14th Amendment? And what 14th Amendment is basically says the debt of the United States shall not be questioned or something like that. It's just ridiculous. What, you're not going to question it no matter what it is composed of, what's bagging it, how much they're printing? What do you mean you're not going to question it? And it gives you no power to do anything. You can't question it. So you're going to have to stick to the laws that are on the books unless you change that law. Anyway, invoking the 14th Amendment, the impasse has raised questions about whether the Biden administration can unilaterally act to avoid default by essentially declaring the debt ceiling unconstitutional. Well, they can't. The courts have to decide that. Congress has to pass a law. Quote, I have been considering the 14th Amendment, Biden told reporters on Tuesday, but he expressed concern it would be litigated and take months to resolve, ultimately not solving the problem fast enough. The 14th Amendment states, quote, the validity of the public debt of the United States authorized by law, including debts incurred for payment of pensions and bounties for services in suppressing insurrection or rebellion, shall not be questioned. Well, it doesn't say you can do anything. It just says you can't even question it. Okay, fine. So we're not questioning it. McCarthy and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell have rejected the idea. Unconstitutionally acting without Congress is also not an option. Right. Biden would have to get Congress to pass a law saying we're going to bypass the congressional process. It's crazy, I know. Payment prioritization, $1 trillion coin, and other tools. Some have said that the Treasury Department could prioritize some payments if the debt limit is not increased. The GOP-led House Ways and Means Committee advanced a bill in March that would require the Treasury to first pay all principal and interest on national debt and then all Social Security and Medicare benefits. That's crazy. You're messing with the massive, very powerful part of the population, the elder folk, who paid for those benefits. Just because your government officials have messed up that process and stolen that money doesn't mean that they shouldn't get it. So, yeah, you're going to have very angry people who are living on pensions and need Medicare. Then they said, but officials have questioned how feasible payment prioritization is, and economists have predicted that it would still likely lead to job losses and higher unemployment. Yellen told the House panel in March that such a scenario was just, quote, default by another name. That's true. The faith and confidence is what you're defaulting in. Without faith and confidence, it's just an electronic blip. Quote, the government on average makes millions of payments each day. Our systems are built to pay all of our bills on time and not to pick and choose which bills to pay, Yellen said. It would be an exceptionally risky, untested, and radical departure from normal payment practices of agencies across the federal government. Another idea floated in past debt ceiling battles, and now is the minting of a $1 trillion coin. Sorry, we don't have any metal for it. Ventris Gibson can't find any metal. Or a coin of another large denomination by the Treasury to keep paying the bills. Biden revealed Tuesday that his team hadn't looked into the idea of the $1 trillion coin as a potential workaround, and Yellen previously dismissed it as a gimmick. What she's doing is a gimmick, creating money out of thin air and throwing it everywhere she can find to destroy the value of that dollar. Quote, the only responsible path forward here is for Congress and the administration to work together to expeditiously pass a debt ceiling increase. It is not a debt ceiling, it is a debt target. Any scenario that does not envision a passage of a debt limit increase prior to the deadline puts at significant risk the safety and soundness of the U.S. dollar and the U.S. markets and the U.S. economy. So Janet Yellen, the Treasury Secretary, is telling everybody, panic your ass off if they can't do this. You're just telling the world that that's the kind of shakiness the United States. I mean, just by saying that, is going to destroy faith and confidence. That being said, this is Yellen. That being said, any serious Secretary of Treasury, which all of them in the United States have been, I'm certain are carefully reviewing their options should Congress and the administration not come to an agreement by the time the debt ceiling is breached. Campbell said that in the extremely unlikely event that occurs, I'm certain the Treasury Secretary would have a series of options at her disposal to be able to work through the challenges should that occur. Okay, we'll find out just how smart old Janet Yellen is. Oh, my God. It's getting to that point when Dick Allgaier saw in a remote viewing in The Death of the Dollar, Congress people coming outside looking sick, like keeled over, knowing that it was the last time they meet. So I think we're headed there. I don't think they're going to come to any agreement. And voila, who doesn't get paid? Congressmen. And all the debt. And so everybody be rushing to get physical silver, obviously. That's why they're slamming silver right now. Last licks type of thing. Last licks. What are we at today now? Volumes are huge today. Look at that. So yeah. We're it's all happening. Make sure you got your physical silver in your own possession. So important. There you can see it cleanly. Yeah. Hang in there. It's a crazy day. I also want to talk about the border issue. It's so much worse than what the mainstream media are telling you. Probably Fox News is probably doing a good job at it. But look at like the Wall Street Journal. They talk about the Title 42 expiring, and they show this. They say this is what's happening at the border. You see a couple of people running across the border. You want to see what's happening at the border right now as we speak? Watch this.
De esta manera corriendo, cargando a sus hijos, bolsas de ropa, maletas, van corriendo rumbo a la joroba del puente donde se encuentra ya el antimotines del CBP esperándolos.
Welcome to America. Welcome to America. Our borders are wide open. Come on in, everybody. We'll print more money to feed you. Come on in. Bring your drugs. Bring your fentanyl. Bring your terrorists. It's insane. And who's in charge of this debacle? Kamala Harris. Check out what her speech last night. Drunk off her ass, could barely talk. Listen.
Everything is in context. My mother she would give us a hard time sometimes, and she would say to us, I don't know what's wrong with you young people. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context of all in which you live and what came before you.
Holy crap. We have a drunk VP who's not doing it. She was in charge of the border crisis. It wasn't called a border crisis when she took it over. She was the border czar. She's going to get blamed for this. So that's the thing about removing Biden. You get Kamala Harris in there. It's just like, which is worse? Neither of them do anything. They're just a puppet. We don't have a president. It's so sad and so bizarre. So this is what we're living through. As of today, we are still giving away the Road to Ruta coin, the Silver Ruta Lives coin, with every private road subscription. Lots of good stuff on the private road. Been going crazy. There's a lot going on this weekend. If you don't have your silver already, go to your local coin shop. I'm going to go to mine today. Go to your local coin shop and get, check under the couch for extra pennies so you can buy more silver. Silver will destroy the banks. Silver will save your future. So get it done. We're still giving away the Road to Ruta coin with every private road subscription. So go check that out. It'll be probably a busy week this week and next week. And all the weeks in May are going to be huge as the regional banks start to collapse. 4:30 tonight, we're going to know how many of the deposits are really leaving the regional banks, and it's going to be a big number. And leaving J.P. Morgan Chase and Bank of America and all that. Yes, they're getting some deposits from companies that say, oh, we need cash. But they're not any better off than any of these others. But, You're not guaranteed a bailout. You're guaranteed, what, 50 trillion in derivatives from JP Morgan, 52 trillion from Goldman Sachs Bank. Goldman Sachs Bank, what a joke that is. If you look at the assets that Goldman Sachs owns versus the derivative book, I mean, Jamie Dimon at least has like over $3 trillion worth of assets. Goldman Sachs has nothing. They pay out all their huge bonuses. It's just a trading arm of the deep state. So anyway, go check out roadtoroot.com. If you don't have a local guy, contact Andy Scheckman, info at milesfranklin.com, and he will set you up. I recommend buying what he's got in inventory because you don't want to wait around these days. You're going to see, as the price of silver climbs, you're going to see a lot of these silver dealers go belly up. So make sure you're buying from someone you know and trust. And I trust Andy. This is Bix. I'll talk to you later.